Hey everyone, today's video is all about the um, international adoption process for Armenia specifically. So today I'll be talking about what a home study consists of and the different steps after that I would have to take and the different trips that I'd have to take to Armenia. So I'm going to start off with the home study. I have my little cheat sheet over here beside me. The home study cost about $3,000 roughly for international. I know for domestic and like foster care, it's totally different. So this is all international pricing, international adoption, not domestic because it's completely different. But so the home study for international adoption is roughly around $3,000. It'll consist of 3 interviews, and during one of those interviews will be a home visit. So they come to the home and they check to make sure that the house is decently clean, not like spotless, because they know not all homes are perfect or whatever. So they come. They check your home. They check that the child has a place to sleep. They check that all medicines are up high or locked in a drawer out of the reach of a child that could be curious and find it. And they come to make sure that you have your smoke detectors working. I think it's like a carbon monoxide one, a fire extinguisher, and different things like that. And then the other 2 visits might be at the agency's office. I'm not too positive if they come out to my apartment or whenever I have my apartment. I'm not too sure if all of the appointments are at my apartment or not, but I know the other 2 interviews are the first appointment is going to be her walking me through the process of what's going to happen and things like that. And she's going to give me a list of papers that she needs from me. So some of those papers are going to be my criminal history. I have to go get that. My birth certificate, a financial document showing my financial statement, I guess. I'm not too positive what exactly. I have to get a medical exam. And because I have a pet, I have to show that she has her shots and all that, and she's up to date with everything. So I have to show proof of that. I have to show proof of employment and my tax returns, and then I have to have 3 references. So I have to ask 3 people who I'm not too sure if they can be related to me or not, but I have to ask 3 people to write down, I guess, like a letter, or she has to talk to that person. I'm not too sure, but I know I have to have at least 3 to 4 people that she will ask questions to, or she'll give me a paper that they have to fill out or something like that. I just know I have to have 3 to 4 references. So that's the first appointment. She'll give me all of those, and I have to get all of those papers notarized. So that's like another cost. Getting the papers is a cost because I have to, not apply, but, I guess you would say apply. I don't know. Get a birth certificate. I have a birth certificate, but I have to get like one printed out, like new, so that I can give to them. And it has to be notarized. My criminal history has to be notarized. My medical exam has to be notarized. Everything has to be notarized. And getting papers notarized costs money. So that's another expense. So she'll do that the first appointment, and then either the second or third appointment, however she does it or he does it, I don't know. So one will be of just interviews. She'll be asking me questions about myself, about my childhood. Like, they get really personal with the questions they ask. And because I'm not with someone, I'm doing this as a single person, they won't get into my sex life or whatever. But like, if you were a couple, they would ask you, like, how is it? Like, not how you do it or anything like that, but like, are you intimate and things like that. So they like get really, really personal with the questions. They get They ask about your childhood. How did you grow up? They ask, like how you're going to discipline the child as it's being adopted. So is it like, are you going to treat it any different? Things like that. They'll ask a whole bunch of questions. I've seen some people who've uploaded on the TV, on their computer, on like their blogs, they'll upload like the questions they got asked. So I've seen some, and I'm like answering them in a way that I would know to answer it, and they may not be the same, but that's just how I did it. So yes, so that's my home study. It'll take about 3 months to complete. So that right there adds 3 months to the process. So 3 months for the home study to be completed and approved. Then after I have my home study, I have to apply for a USCIS I-800A, and that is, it's like you're applying to bring a foreign, I don't know if it said immigrant on the paper. They call it alien child. I don't know. Just someone who's not from the United States, who's from a different country, and you're adopting them to bring them to the United States to then be as citizens. It's to be approved to do that. So after your home study, then you have to be approved for your I-800. And then once you get approved for that, then it'll be, and that takes about 75 days to do. So that's about 2 months and like I think a week to complete, because in between them processing it, you have to go and get an FBI fingerprint so that they have that on file. I'm not too sure what that does, but they have your fingerprint on file, and you'll get an appointment for that. So you don't just go and get it yourself. They call you and be like, okay, this is the day you have to go, the time you have to go to get your fingerprint done, and you have to go, because then it'll push, if you can't go, then it pushes your approval back further, and you don't want that, because you want to bring your child home as quickly as possible once you start the process. So the quicker you get things done, the quicker your child is going to be home. So yes, so once that's approved, then I send my dossier to Armenia, or my agency does it for me. They'll send my dossier to, I don't know why I keep saying China, Armenia. And then that can take between 3 to 4 months to be looked at and approved. And then once that is approved, and in my dossier, it'll have my home study, it'll have the I-800A approved, and it'll have like a picture of me, a picture possibly of my home and her room, that would be hers, and anything else I would like to include in it. So it's like a profile about me and, the family that she's going to be involved with, and like who she's going to be living with, all about me and all my approved paperwork and things like that. So yeah, that'll take about 3 to 4 months. And then once that's approved, since usually you'll get your referral, which is like the child that you're going to adopt. But since I already know who I want to adopt, then I just get my travel dates. So they'll tell me when I can go and travel, and that'll be my trip 1. So with Armenia, you have to take 2 trips. So once I get my dossier approved, then I get my trip 1, which will be between 5 to 7 days. So that'll be like a week basically. And during that week that I'm there, I'm meeting with the Armenian government, people who are in charge of the adoptions. I'll meet with them. That's when I get to see her file. I get to see what her real name is. I get to see her birth date, anything that she had, or maybe her baby picture. I'm not sure. Some files have it, some files don't. So I get to have her file. I get to see it. And then I get to meet her. And during those 5 days, I get to see her each of those 5 days for a few hours. I know it's going to be like a little hard for me because I would want to spend like the whole day with her, but I have to go, talk with these people, fill out paperwork, and do all of that. So that first trip is accepting her referral. So to say, yes, I want to adopt this child. While there, I believe she'll get her passport picture taken so that she has that. I'm not too sure if it's the first or second trip that happens at. So yeah, I get to meet her. And I think the hardest thing about this trip is I know that she's not coming home with me at the end of the 5 days or 7 days that I'm there. I get to spend that time with her. She gets to be used to me and I get to get used to her. But then, we're split again because I have to go home and she has to stay. And she's going to be 6, 7 years old when I meet her, almost 7 when I first meet her. So she may not understand what's happening. She may get really used to me and, I'm giving her all this attention, so she's going to love it. And, then all of a sudden, well, where did she go? Why isn't she coming back? And it's kind of like I know it's going to be a little heartbreaking on my end. And my sister, I'm hoping that she comes with me on both trips. So she'll be there to help me take videos, take pictures, because I plan on taking a lot of pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, so then after trip 1, then I come home and then I get so when I come home, or I guess before I come, I make sure that I fill out paperwork that I had to fill out over there. And then, let them know I accept the referral and things like that. And then I come home and it'll take between 3 to 5 months for them to then process it again, for them to give me court dates this time, for them to, be like, okay, she's going to adopt. These are her court dates for her to be approved to adopt. Or her adoption day, like the gotcha day. So it'll be 3 to 5 months. So like that's going to be the hardest. Trip 1, coming home after meeting my child and then being away from them between 3 to 5 months. And I really hope it's 3 months so that I don't have to be away from her, or even faster than that, so I don't have to be away from her that long, because I think that'll be the hardest, having to be 5 months away from the child that you love. You loved on her for a whole week. You got to meet her. You fell in love with her. And then you don't get to see her for almost a half a year. So it's like, I know that's going to be the hardest part. So 3 to 5 months. Then I fill out my USCIS I-800, which is to then bring the child to the United States. And that takes about 2 weeks to be approved, because you already got approved. I would already have been approved for the USCIS I-800A. So it's just like kind of being like, okay, now she is going to bring this child home. So you just have to fill that out. And each of those papers are about like $800 each. The I-800A is about, I think it's like $775, and then $85 for the fingerprint. And then the I-800, I think it's roughly around the same thing, but I don't think I need a fingerprint for the second one. Just because I got it the first time, I don't think I would need it. So I think it's just 800 and 800, or 800 and 775. Something like that. Sorry. And then I'll go back for trip 2. And trip 2 is longer. Trip 2 is 23 days, because while I'm there, I'll have but before I get approved for trip 2, I should say, once they approve and they've, looked over all my things to then give me my court dates, first I get court dates, and then they're like, okay, then you can travel to the country, and then you get your court dates, you show up in front of the judge with your translator, and then, talk, they ask you questions, you answer, and then they approve you. It's a lot of, I've yet to hear a story of a person not being approved to adopt a child, even single. I've talked with a lot of single moms, especially one who has adopted from Armenia, and they had no issue. I've even spoken with one who's on her second adoption, but she's not adopting from Armenia, she's adopting from Bulgaria. So she adopted her first child as a single person at the age of 20. I think she was 24, 25, just around the same age as me. And now she's back for her second child. So right now she's just waiting to hear when her court day is to go pick up her child. So yeah, so then I get my court dates. I go back for trip two. 23 days. And then during those 23 days, she'll get her visa to come to the United States. She'll get her birth certificate. And at some point, I think once I have court and she's approved to be mine and she's officially mine, I think she then comes to stay with me at the apartment that I'll be staying at while in that country. So then she gets to stay with me. So it's kind of like our bonding moment for those 20 some days that we're there to get used to each other and things like that. And she'll be roughly 7 years old if everything plays out the way it's supposed to. Yeah, so and then at the end of that trip, she comes home, and then after that, she will have, I think with Armenia, it's 6 post-adoption checkups, I guess, to see how the child is doing. So it's every 6 months. She'll have, for the first 6 months, if that makes sense, a social worker will come out and visit. And then for the rest of every 6 months, for 2 years, I think it is, I just send in a letter with her picture, just to show them, this is what she's doing, this is what she can do, what age and stuff, how she looks now. She's going to look healthy, and things like that. So yeah, so that's kind of, I left a few things out because I don't have everything written down, but that's like an overall, like what you're waiting for to be approved and things like that. So a lot of the reason it takes so long for a child to come home is basically the waiting process, the waiting to be approved for such and such paper, or the waiting for the government over there in that country to approve you or to get your dates for like your court dates or something like that. So it's a lot of just waiting, and that's what, like, it's like and antsy. You get antsy because you just like want to go just bring this child home and that be it. But there's like this whole process and this whole long thing, and it's just frustrating a little bit. But yeah, so at first I thought, to get back to what I said in the beginning about her possibly being home earlier than I thought. So I'm not sure if I told you guys this or not, but the reason I am starting there's numerous reasons why I'm starting next year. But the main one, the reason I'm starting next year in July of 2018 is because for the USCIS I-800 papers, for the first one, the A, you have to be 24 years old to fill that paper out. And then for the I-800, for the second one that you fill out, you have to be 25 years old. And I'm currently only 23. So it's different when you do adoption internationally, because if I was adopting in the United States, 21 would be it. I could adopt at 21, I could foster at 21, and that would be it. But because I'm adopting internationally, it's a little different, which at first I did not know. So when I was looking up the process, was looking up everything, it never came up until I literally typed in single person adoption, and it brought up this page, and I noticed that it said 24, and I was just like, oh, it brought me down a little bit, because I'm just like, oh my God, I really just want her home now and things like that. So that is the main reason why I have to start next year and not this year. Also because I live with my mom currently, and I want my own place. I'm looking for my own place. So, and it's helping me that I'm living with my mom, because I'm saving more just because I'm not paying for rent. But I am currently looking for my own place so that I can have it with me and Miss B, a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. I haven't decided yet, but I have been looking. And then just saving. I think waiting a year also and just having the funds before you start is also a smart idea, rather than just starting with barely anything and then figuring out how you're going to get certain funds from certain things. So yeah, so that's my plan. That's the reason I have to start next year. And that's the other thing, is that I joined a few groups on Facebook that are like specifically for Down syndrome adoptions and stuff like that. So I had posted a question on one of the groups that I joined, and I asked about the I-800 and like, do I have to is it filled out first and then it's my trip, or what? Because at first I thought that it was my home study, my I-800A, and then my I-800, and then I'd get, my travel dates for my first trip. But it's not like that. Like I said before, it's, my first trip and then my I-800 second paper. So I was really happy to hear that, because with the way that everything was laid out, she would have been home by December of 2019, just because I had to, no matter how quickly my home study went or the first paper went, I still had to wait until I was 25 to fill out that second paper. So with the way that everything is laid out now, I don't have to wait, because I get my first trip and I still have to wait 3 to 5 months before that second one, and even wait, because then I have to fill out that I-800, and by that time I'll be past 25 years old. So now it's making me more excited rather than anxious and like, nervous, because I didn't know how that was going to play out when that time came. So now that I know, it's making me way more excited. I just want to start already, because I just want her home. So where I thought she would be home December of 2019, I'm thinking that she's going to be home, late summer, early fall of 2019, which is like a couple months earlier than I thought, which I'm hoping it's even earlier than that. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, I can't speak. The donations have been coming in, they're slowly coming in, but they're coming in, and I'm really grateful for everyone who's been able to help, who's donated. So, and I have a few more things coming up as well. And once I start the process, I'm going to have even more things, because then it'll be, you guys will be able to see her picture first off. Once I start it next year, she'll be officially for me once I start it. So you'll be able to see her picture once I start in June or July. I'm possibly starting in June of next year. So a year from now, you guys will be able to see her picture, and you'll see her big smile, because I get 5 pictures in her little thing that they sent me, her file, I guess you could call it. They sent me 5 pictures of her, and then 2 little like written files, one of her personality and then one of her medical history, which you guys know that she has her heart defect and she has Down syndrome. So you guys will be able to see. And in her 5 pictures, I've posted 2 on Facebook, but she has a heart over her face. So she has, like, in one of the pictures where she has a bow, she has like the biggest smile. It is so cute. I look at that picture all the time. I look at all her pictures all the time. But in the 2 that she's like laying in like a swing tub thing, I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a swing to me because there's like ropes on the side of it. She's laying in it. She doesn't look as happy in her other pictures. And you can tell also in that one that they've really cut her hair short. So for some reason, I don't know why, probably just so that they don't have to worry about taking care of it, they cut the girl's hairs really short, like boy short. Like mine's is in a ponytail, so you can't really see. Like I have a little nubby, but like short. So like it's like buzz cut type. And it's like in her one picture, she had it like kind of down to here, and she had a cute like big bow, And you know, she looks so adorable. And then when you see her laying in the swing thing, you know, her, you could tell her hair is really short, and then you could just see the smile's not there. Like she just didn't even feel like doing whatever they were telling her to do, or whatever when they were trying to take the picture. She's like mean mugging them in the picture. So I was just like, you could just see the difference of when they took the one picture and then when they took the second picture. Just how, I don't know if there was like a big gap in between when they took those, just because you could see her hair long in this one and her big smile. And then you see this one, and she has really short hair, and her smile is gone, and she just looks miserable, really. So you can really see the difference there, and I can't wait to get her home because she'll be smiling all the time. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. There was something else I was going to talk about and left my mind. Once I start talking about her, I just can't. I mean, I chat, and I'm like not the chattiest person. I do not chat at all. I'm like, anyone who knows me knows I'm really, really shy. But for some reason, if you get me started talking about Miss B's adoption, I can talk. And I mean, I can talk your ear off. So it's like crazy. And even recording these videos is completely out of my comfort zone. Like I'm even just sitting here, I'm like a little nervous. I can't sit still. So it's like bringing me out of this whole adoption process is bringing me out of my little shell a little more. So yeah, sorry my voice is a little cracky. I'm getting sick. But yeah, so I think that's it for this video. Please, I'm gonna link all of my fundraiser stuff down below, my GoFundMe page, my t-shirt designs, my Etsy page with the bracelets. I've kind of let that go a little bit, but I'm going to start picking that back up. So I'll list all that down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. I hope you watch this one to the end. I try not to make them too long, but they always end up hitting the 25 to 30 minute mark. But thank you for watching if you watched it to the end, and I hope you are able to help in any way you can. I'm planning to do a couple other videos, just don't know of what yet. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.